FAAM, the home of champions.
Welcome to the dramatic journey of World Cup qualification, where dreams are forged and shattered on the pitch. Across the Atlantic, the narrative shifted from a marathon to a sprint. The old continent had 16 slots available, but the path was a minefield. In Europe, there is no room for error. The continent was divided into 12 groups. The rule was simple and terrifying. Only the group winners packed their bags. The runners-up? They were sentenced to the playoffs, a brutal mini-tournament where dreams go to die. The spotlight fell on a rainy night in Cardiff. Wales faced a resurgent Turkey. The scenario was a classic European tragedy in the making. Turkey led the group by a single point. A draw would send Turkey to North America. Wales needed a win to leapfrog them. If Wales failed, they wouldn't be eliminated immediately, but they would drop into the playoff path, a labyrinth requiring 2 single-leg knockout victories against other runners-up to survive. The direct path is a highway. A pundit noted, watching the rain lash the pitch. The playoffs are a tightrope walk over a canyon. Elsewhere, giants like France and England had already mathematically secured their places, their squads rotating young talent. But for mid-tier nations, the difference between winning the group and finishing second was the difference between a summer in New York and a summer on the couch. The story in Africa was one of sheer, overwhelming scale. The Confederation of African Football had been granted 9 direct slots, a massive increase that breathed hope into nations that had never touched the World Cup stage. However, the format was a test of endurance. 9 groups, 6 teams each. Only the group winner took the prize. In Lagos, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were locked in a psychological battle. They were tied on points with a determined Benin side. Here, the head-to-head rule and goal difference became the protagonists. We cannot just win. The Nigerian captain rallied his troops. We must score 3, 4, 5. We must bury the doubt. The tension in Africa is unique because the margin for error is microscopic. One bad draw away from home can destroy a 4-year campaign. Furthermore, the best 4 runners-up from the 9 groups would enter a chaotic playoff bracket for a chance to go to the Inter-Confederation Playoffs. It was a needle in a haystack. On this night, a new hero emerged. A striker from Burkina Faso scored a 90th minute winner, sending his nation to their first ever World Cup, illustrating the beauty of the expanded format. New dreams were finally being realized. From the European gauntlet to the African Renaissance, the road to the 2026 World Cup is a testament to passion, perseverance, and the beautiful game's enduring power. As the sun rose over the east, the complex machinery of the Asian qualifiers whirred into motion for the 2026 World Cup. With 8 direct slots plus a playoff spot, the AFC qualifiers were a multi-stage saga, showcasing intense competition. We were now in the 3rd round, with 3 groups of 6 teams, where the top 2 from each group secured their direct qualification. Japan, Iran, and South Korea had already stamped their visas, their dominance unquestioned as the royalty of Asian football. The real drama lay with the 3rd and 4th place finishers, who weren't eliminated but sent to a treacherous 4th round. This sudden death group stage was their last chance to fight for the remaining scraps of qualification. Consider the plight of Uzbekistan, perennially the almost team of Asia, standing on the precipice of history. A win against Qatar would secure 2nd place and a historic direct ticket, ending 30 years of heartbreak. The Asian story was one of emerging powers challenging the old guard, capitalizing on the expanded 8.5 slots to claim a seat at the high table. For decades, Oceania was the tragedy of world football, forced to win its zone and then play a titan from South America to qualify. They never had a guaranteed spot, but for 2026, Oceania possessed 1 guaranteed direct slot, a true dawn for the region. In Auckland, the New Zealand All-Whites faced the Solomon Islands in the final, a straight shot to the World Cup. It was no longer about playing a playoff against a team like Argentina. It was winner takes all. The narrative here was pure hope for the Solomon Islands, a nation of less than 1 million, standing 90 minutes from the greatest sporting event on earth. It was the ultimate underdog story, made possible by the new rules and expanded opportunities. While the world fought, 3 giants watched from the balcony. The United States, Mexico, and Canada qualified automatically as hosts. However, the rest of North and Central America fought tooth and nail for the three remaining direct slots and two playoff spots. Costa Rica and Panama were locked in a duel of tactical discipline, showcasing their strategic prowess. The CONCACAF story was defined by the hexagonal's ghost, where the hostility of away games remained a significant challenge. To qualify here, a team had to survive the heat of San Pedro Sula and the hostile crowds of San Salvador, a true test of mental fortitude. As the November international break concluded, the picture resolved, and 30 distinct nations celebrated their qualification. Fireworks erupted in Bamako, Tashkent, and Zagreb. They had navigated the labyrinth and secured the golden ticket. But the story wasn't over. The final chapters would be written in the Inter-Confederation Playoffs. This mini-tournament involved teams from every continent except Europe fighting for the last two spots. The road to 2026 was a testament to the global game, showing qualification was not just about kicking a ball. It was about navigating a complex web of algorithms, goal differences, and head-to-head records. It was a story of how 211 nations were whittled down to 48, leaving a trail of heartbreak and ecstasy, all converging on the horizon of North America. The World Cup had not yet begun, but for the qualifiers, the war was won.
The World's Weight, a chronicle of the road to 2026. The planet did not rotate on its axis this November. It spun on the trajectory of a leather ball. We had entered the era of the expanded Colosseum. For the first time in history, 48 nations, not the traditional 32, would gather for the FIFA World Cup. The 2026 tournament, hosted across the vast expanse of North America, promised to be the largest festival of humanity ever organized. But before the fiesta in Miami, the lights of Los Angeles, or the roar of Mexico City could be realized, the world had to endure the great filter, the qualifiers. From the muddy pitches of tropical islands to the frost-bitten stadiums of Northern Europe, the narrative was written in sweat, tears, and the cruel mathematics of points tables. Chapter 1. The South American Grinder. The story begins in the thin air of the Andes. The South American qualifiers are widely regarded as the most grueling league format on Earth. Here, 18 rounds of round-robin warfare determine destiny. With the expansion, 6 teams gained direct entry, while the 7th would be cast into the purgatory of the Inter-Confederation Playoffs. In Montevideo, the atmosphere was thick enough to chew. Uruguay, sitting comfortably in second place, had already booked their flight. But for Chile and Paraguay, the night was a knife edge. The mathematics were brutal. Paraguay sat in 7th place, clinging to the playoff spot. Chile was 8th, 2 points behind. To qualify, Chile didn't just need to defeat their opponents. They needed the gods of arithmetic on their side. They needed Paraguay to lose in the high altitude of Bolivia. It is not enough to bleed, the Chilean commentator screamed as his team struck the post. We must score, and we must pray that Bolivia holds the line. This was the essence of the CONMEBOL fight, a marathon where goal difference often acted as the executioner. Brazil and Argentina had long since vanished over the horizon, securing their spots months ago. The drama was now in the scrap for the middle, the desperate clawing for that 6th automatic spot or the lifeline of the 7th.